Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome, West Tennessee Dave here. We are live on Twitch. It's 6:33 this Tuesday morning, Central Time. I am glad you're here. Welcome. And if you're coming later on a VOD, whether on YouTube or Twitch, hello and welcome as well. All are welcome, whether live or whether delayed. It's all good. It's good. It's good to be here with you. Hope you're doing well this morning. All right, today we are going to continue the story that we started with Isaiah and his prophecies, and some of the story is encouraging, and some of it is a little more downcast. But today we're going to have maybe a hair more encouraging part of the story. So let's take a little sip of water and let's dive in. Then the Lord said to me, "Make a large signboard and clearly write this name on it: Mahir Shalal Hashbaz." I asked Uriah the priest and Zechariah son of Berechiah, both known as honest men, to witness my doing this. Then I slept with my wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. And the Lord said, "Call him Mahir Shalal Hashbaz. For before this child is old enough to say Papa or Mama, the king of Assyria will carry away both the abundance of Damascus and the riches of Samaria." Then the Lord spoke to me again and said, "My care for the people of Judah is like gently flowing waters of Shiloah, but they have rejected it. They are rejoicing over what will happen to King Rezin and King Pekah. Therefore the Lord will overwhelm them with a mighty flood from the Euphrates River, the king of Assyria in all his glory. This flood will overflow all its channels and sweep into Judah until it's chin deep. It will spread its wings, submerging your land from one end to the other. O Emmanuel, huddle together, you nations, and be terrified. Listen, all you distant lands. Prepare for battle, but you will be crushed. Yes, prepare for battle, but you will be crushed. Call your councils of war, but they will be worthless. Develop your strategies, but they will not succeed, for God is with us. The Lord has given me a strong warning not to think like everyone else does. He said, "Don't call everything a conspiracy, like they do, and don't live in dread of what frightens them. Make the Lord of heaven's armies holy in your life. He is the one you should fear. He is the one who should make you tremble. He will keep you safe. But to Israel and Judah, he will be a stone that makes people stumble, a rock that makes them fall. And for the people of Jerusalem, he will be a trap and a snare. Many will stumble and fall, never to rise again. They will be snared and captured. Preserve the teaching of God and trust his instructions to those who follow me. I will wait for the Lord who has turned away from the descendants of Jacob. I will put my hope in him. I and the children the Lord has given me serve as signs and warnings to Israel from the Lord of heaven's armies who dwells in the temple on Mount Zion. Someone may say to you, let's ask the mediums and those who consult the spirits of the dead with their whisperings and mutterings. They will tell us what to do. But shouldn't people ask God for guidance? Shouldn't the living seek guidance? Should the living seek guidance from the dead? Look to God's instructions and teachings. People who contradict his word are completely in the dark. They will go from one place to another, weary and hungry. And because they are hungry, they will rage and curse their king and their God. They will look up to heaven and down at earth, but wherever they look, there will be trouble and anguish and dark despair. They will be thrown out into the darkness. Nevertheless, that time of darkness and despair will not go on forever. The land of Zebulun and Naphtali will be humbled, but there will be a time in the future when Galilee of the Gentiles which lies along the road that runs between the Jordan and the sea, will be filled with glory. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. For those who live in a land of deep darkness will shine. A light will shine. You will enlarge the nation of Israel, and his people will rejoice. They will rejoice before you as people rejoice at the harvest, and like warriors dividing the plunder. For you will break the yoke of their slavery and lift the heavy burden from their shoulders. You will break the oppressor's rod, just as you did when you destroyed the army of Midian. The boots of the warrior and the uniforms, blood-stained by war, will all be burned. They will be fuel for the fire. For a child is born to us, a son is given to us. The government will rest on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. His government and his peace will never end. He will rule with fairness and justice from the throne of his ancestor David for all eternity. The passionate commitment of the Lord of heaven's armies will make this happen. The Lord has spoken out against Jacob. His judgment has fallen upon Israel. And the people of Israel and Samaria who spoke with such pride and arrogance will soon know it. They said, "We will replace the broken bricks of our ruins with finished stone, and replant the felled sycamore trees with cedars." But the Lord will bring Rezin's enemies against Israel and stir up all their foes. The Syrians from the east and the Philistines from the west will bare their fangs and devour Israel. But even then the Lord's anger will not be satisfied. His fist is still poised to strike. For after all this punishment, the people will still not repent. They will not seek the Lord of heaven's armies. Therefore, in a single day, the Lord will destroy both the head and the tail, the noble palm branch and the lowly reed. The leaders of Israel are the head, and the lying prophets are the tail. For the leaders of the people have misled them. They have led them down the path of destruction. That is why the Lord takes no pleasure in the young men and shows no mercy, even to the widows and orphans. For they are all wicked hypocrites, and they all speak foolishness. But even then the Lord's anger will not be satisfied. His fist is still poised to strike. The wickedness is like a brush fire. It burns not only briars and thorns, but also sets the forest ablaze. Its burning sends up clouds of smoke. The land will be blackened by the fury of the Lord of heaven's armies. The people will be fuel for the fire, and no one will spare even his own brother. They will attack their neighbor on the right, but will still be hungry. They will devour their neighbor on the left, but will not be satisfied. In the end, they will even eat their own children. Manasseh will feed on Ephraim. Ephraim will feed on Manasseh, and both will devour Judah. But even then, the Lord's anger will not be satisfied. His fist is still poised to strike. What sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. They deprive the poor of justice and deny the rights of the needy among my people. They prey on widows and take advantage of orphans. What will you do when I punish you, when I send disaster upon you from a distant land? To whom will you turn for help? Where will your treasures be safe? Will you stumble along as prisoners or lie among the dead? But even then, the Lord's anger will not be satisfied. His fist is still poised to strike. What sorrow awaits Assyria, the rod of my anger? I use it as a club to express my anger. I am sending Assyria against a godless nation, against a people with whom I am angry. Assyria will plunder them, trampling them like dirt beneath its feet. But the king of Assyria will not understand that he is my tool. His mind does not work that way. His plan is simply to destroy, to cut down nation after nation. He will say, "Each of my princes will soon be a king." We destroyed Calno, just as we did Carchemish. Hamath fell before us as Arpad did, and We destroyed Samaria just as we did Damascus. Yes, we have finished off many a kingdom whose gods were greater than those in Jerusalem and Samaria. So we will defeat Jerusalem and her gods just as we destroyed Samaria with hers. After the Lord had used the king of Assyria to accomplish his purposes on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, he will turn against the king of Assyria and punish him, for he is proud and arrogant. He boasts, "By my own powerful arm I have done this. With my own shrewd wisdom I planned it. I have broken down the defenses of nations and carried off their treasures. I have knocked down their kings like a bull. I have robbed their nest of riches and gathered up kingdoms as a farmer gathers eggs. No one can even flap a wing against me or utter a peep of protest. But can the axe boast greater power than the person who uses it? Is the saw greater than the person who saws? Can a rod strike unless a hand moves it? Can a wooden cane walk by itself? Therefore the Lord of heaven's armies will send a plague among Assyria's proud troops, and a flaming fire will consume its glory. The Lord, the light of Israel, will be a fire. The Holy One will be a flame. He will devour the thorns and briars with fire, burning up the enemy in a single night. The Lord will consume Assyria's glory like a fire consumes a forest in a fruitful land. It will waste away like sick people in a plague. Of all that glorious forest, only a few trees will survive, so few that a child could count them. In that day, the remnant left in Israel, the survivors in the house of Jacob, will no longer depend on allies who seek to destroy them, but they will faithfully trust the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. A remnant will return. Yes, the remnant of Jacob will return to the mighty God. But though the people of Israel are as numerous as the sand of the seashore, only a remnant of them will return. The Lord has rightly decided to destroy his people. Yes, the Lord of heaven's army, has already decided to destroy the entire land. So this is what the Lord of heaven's army says: O my people in Zion, do not be afraid of the Assyrians, when they oppress you with rod and club as the Egyptians did long ago. In a little while my anger against you will end, and then my anger will rise up to destroy them. The Lord of heaven's armies will lash them with his whip, as he did when Gideon triumphed over the Midianites at the rock of Oreb, or when the Lord's staff was raised to drown the Egyptian army in the sea. In that day the Lord will end the bondage of his people. He will break the yoke of slavery and lift it from their shoulders. Look, the Assyrians are now at Aiath. They are passing through Migron, and they're storing their equipment at Michmash. They are crossing the pass and are camping at Geba. Fear strikes the town of Ramah. All the people of Gibeah, the hometown of Saul, are running for their lives. Scream in terror, you people of Galim. Shout out a warning to Laisha. O poor Anathoth. There go the people of Madmanah, all fleeing. The citizens of Gibeon are trying to hide. The enemy stops at Nob for the rest of the day. He shakes his fist at beautiful Mount Zion, the mountain of Jerusalem. But look, the Lord of heaven's armies, will chop down the mighty tree of Assyria with great power. He will cut down the proud. That lofty tree will be brought down. He will cut down the forest trees with an axe. Lebanon will fall to the mighty one. Out of the stump of David's family will grow a shoot. Yes, a new branch bearing fruit from the old root. And the Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. He will delight in obeying the Lord. He will not judge by appearance, nor make a decision based on hearsay. He will give justice to the poor and make fair decisions for the exploited. The earth will shake at the force of his word, and one breath from his mouth will destroy the wicked. He will wear righteousness like a belt and truth like an undergarment. In that day the wolf and the lamb will live together. The leopard will lie down with the baby goat. The calf and the yearling will be safe with the lion, and a little child will lead them all. The cow will graze near the bear. The cub and the calf will lie down together. The lion will eat hay like a cow. The baby will play safely near the hole of a cobra. Yes, a little child will put its hand in a nest of deadly snakes without harm. Nothing will hurt or destroy in all my holy mountain, for as the waters fill the sea, so the earth will be filled with the people who know the Lord. In that day, the heir to David's throne will be a banner of salvation to all the world. The nations will rally to him, and the land where he lives will be a glorious place. In that day, the Lord will reach out his hand a second time to bring back the remnant of his people. Those who remain in Assyria and northern Egypt, in southern Egypt, Ethiopia, and Elam, and Babylon, Hamath, and all the distant coastlands. He will raise a flag among the nations and assemble the exiles of Israel. He will gather the scattered people of Judah from the ends of the earth. Then at last the jealousy between Israel and Judah will end. They will not be rivals anymore. They will join forces to swoop down on Philistia to the west. Together they will attack and plunder the nations to the east. They will occupy the lands of Edom and Moab, and Ammon will obey them. The Lord will make a dry path through the gulf of the Red Sea. He will wave his hand over the Euphrates River, sending a mighty wind to divide it into 7 streams, so it can easily be crossed on foot. He will make a highway for the remnant of his people, the remnant coming from Assyria, just as he did for Israel long ago when they returned from Egypt. In that day you will sing, I will praise you, O Lord. You were angry with me, but not anymore. Now you comfort me. See, God has come to save me. I will trust in him and not be afraid. The Lord God is my strength and my song. He has given me victory. With joy you will drink deeply from the fountain of salvation. In that wonderful day you will sing, thank the Lord, praise his name. Tell the nations what he has done. Let them know how mighty he is. Sing to the Lord, for he has done wonderful things. Make known his praise around the world. Let all the people of Jerusalem shout his praise with joy, for great is the Holy One of Israel who lives among you. Okay, and that is our reading for today. I ended it here. It's a little bit shorter than what we've been doing, but it's a big, description, not description, there's a big differential from what comes next, and we'll start that on Friday. All right, so today we get both the continuation of God's anger being poured out on the nations. And why is God so angry with the nations? Right? Assyria is kind of the empire that's building in the world during this prophecy time that Isaiah's in. And they are conquering the different lands. And you kind of hear that here. You hear Isaiah kind of read out and prophesy where they're going to go. They're going to basically take all these different kingdoms. They're going to be super proud of themselves. And this is the Lord's doing. The Lord is allowing Assyria to conquer these lands, and that includes a lot of the territory, almost all the territory of Israel. So we're at that point in the storyline that we've read back in 2 Kings, about 2 Kings, maybe 1 Kings even, where Assyria comes and destroys the land of Israel and all the surrounding nations. And basically they're building their empire. And Isaiah's prophesying that to happen because, why? Well, mainly because the people are still doing all their idol worship, but even more so, the people of Israel have been doing their idol worship. And they become proud, and they're looking to other gods. And God's like, look, Israel, you are my people. You were my people. You should know better. You should know that you're supposed to worship me and not these false gods. We kicked them out of the land. Like, this was the covenant we made with each other, and now you've just gone back and done what they were doing before. Like, why should I not kick you out of the land? Like, I tried to kick that out to begin with. You were part of that process, but you've just totally forgotten me. So now you're going to be captured. We're going to go back and restart over again. But, you know, Assyria doesn't really know what's going on here, except they just know that they're a powerful empire building up. And the more you kind of do something, the more you're like, well, I think God allows me to do this, right? And that's what the Assyrian army and kingdom is doing. They're like, well, we're very successful. We might as well just keep conquering lands, conquer, 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 make us better. And that is what empires have done throughout time. They just conquer more lands. They're not satisfied with what they have, and they find different ways. And I mean, this still happens just as much today in the land we live in, right? We have uh we have our land, the United States, which we had to conquer it at first. We had to conquer it from the Native Americans, and uh whether that's right or wrong, like, I'm not going to go into all that, but now we have America, and America still is kind of like meddling in the same way to get countries to basically do business and partnership with us. So it's just done in different ways now. I mean, it's been done in different ways before. Like, slavery is just like another empire building. When uh, the European countries back in those days went to Africa and took basically human trafficked people for slavery for different things, right? It was, again, like, all these things are done out of greed and arrogance because we're not satisfied with the land we have, with the things we have. We go to others, we market under trade. Columbus sailed the thing for trade, but they just wanted more resources. It's about getting more resources. And again, all this is just human history. But where is God in the story? Well, God is like, I want you guys to know me, to love me, to worship me. I've made covenants with you, Israel, and with Judah, right? You were just one people before. Now you're two. Judah has kind of still stayed mostly reverent to God, but here and there they back and forth a little bit, and depending on who the king is. And so we've gone through that all in Kings. Okay? But eventually he's like, look, don't be too proud of yourself, Jerusalem. Like, they're going to come against you, but Assyria's not going to be the one to get you. Assyria's not going to be the one to get you. But we only have to wait another couple days to find out who's going to get them. And this is all being prophesied from this guy, Isaiah. Okay? And Isaiah is helping the kings of Judah typically. He's kind of the prophet for the kings of Judah. So he's trying to give them hope, and he gives a much longer term hope, saying, look, someday, like we got this yesterday, there's going to be a child born. The government will rest upon his shoulders, right? We heard that today. We're hearing about this basically Messiah going to be coming, and he's going to stop the oppression of the people. Like, people are being oppressed over and over again. This is what happens under empires. Empires have to oppress some people. Somebody has to be at the top and somebody has to be at the bottom. There's just, under empire building, there's not really socialist thinking of everyone's the same. We try to kind of make it so that there's fairness, but there's really not fairness. There is injustice and oppression always happening. And that still exists today, even in places that say we seek justice, and our declarations and our constitutions say that. You just look at it, and uh, you could see that justice doesn't seem to always come out fairly. And what does God say about this? This is just not right. Like, you oppress people so that you can build it up, and eventually, uh, something comes to disrupt that, to destroy those things. And unfortunately, in the process, all of it gets wiped out. You can see that he says, like in Israel, like even the widows and orphans here are going to be taken because eventually people just accept the reality that's around them. They accept the reality that's around them, and they're like, well, these people are rich and we're poor, but, like, there's still hope that one day we might get rich. And so let's just let it continue on. Like, it's kind of, it sucks, right? Like, when what is supposed to happen is this concept that he set out, which is we're going to take care of each other. The people groups, the little tribes, of Israel, the 10 tribes, were supposed to take care of one another. They were supposed to look out for the widows and orphans in their groups. They weren't supposed to make this big class. Now, that didn't mean that some people were more wealthy or not, but they were supposed to take care of each other. And it's just not happening because everyone's trying to figure out a way to make themselves better. So, but all of that is supposed to go away. We hear this coming of the Messiah, and the Messiah is going to bring justice. He's going to rule fairly. He's not going to look at the things on the outside. He's not going to look at your wealth or your status. He's going to judge fairly. He's going to bring hope and restoration and all these things that is prophesied here. And that is great news. And this is like, it's not that this hasn't been somewhat prophesied before, but it's never been prophesied to this extent of how much what the Savior is going to do. Right? The spirit of knowledge, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of counsel is upon him. Wow. I mean, like they are now, because of this prophecy from this time forward, in anticipation. This is generally the people of Judah. They're in anticipation of the Messiah coming, because from this day forward, and just like today, you can see yourself in oppression. People are generally oppressed in some way or another, and they can see it, and like oftentimes you can just like throw your hands up, like there's nothing I can really do to make it go away on my own. But the Messiah is going to come, and it's going to be. And so this is their hope. This is what they're looking forward to. And we're a long way away from reading what that looks like, what it actually transpired into. But even when it comes to pass, the hope that was stirred in them, and this longing for the Messiah to come, often gets overlooked. And why does it get overlooked? Well, you just go back to this reading here, in that the people that are at the top, they don't want things to change. The people that have power or resources or whatnot, they don't want to be disturbed. It's only those people that are kind of on the outside that have continued to hope in this prophecy that actually get what happens when the Messiah comes. Right? And that's what he's speaking to. He's speaking like, I'm coming for everyone, and I'm coming to set my people free. But the people that eventually make the deals with power and empire building and whatever else, they can't see past that. That's their bottleneck. And so, in the same way, we have to ask ourselves, what are the things that we just hold on to so tightly that we don't see the Messiah working in our lives? We don't see God working in our lives to coming to restore and help us with whatever oppressions we have, because we're more concerned about the good things that we have that maybe we have from the Lord, maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're part of a system that's still oppressing others, and it's like, but we're okay with that because we are part of, we have what we want. And so it's a real hard question to ask. It's a real hard question to ask, and to look in the mirror and say, man, is what I have from the Lord, or is what I have from a system that is about oppression and empire building? Man, it's a tough question. It's a tough question to think about today. So, because at the end, like, that's all going to go up in flames at some point. Somebody's come, maybe not in our lifetimes, and you're like, oh, well, it won't happen in my lifetime. Maybe it'll happen in your lifetime, maybe it won't. But when all that stuff goes to the wayside, and then you're just in fear and dread of, the armies coming against you, whatever those look like, it says, fear God. Fear God first. Fear God. Trust in his plan. So trust in this plan for the Messiah to come and to rescue you, right? And those things that are done outside of it, we have to get rid of it. We have to get rid of that which isn't from God, so that we can experience him when he's coming for our rescue. So we can understand his knowledge, his wisdom, to trust his word over our lives. Okay, that's where we're going to leave this today. It's still like prophetic, and obviously we haven't gotten to the part in the story where the Messiah comes, so we don't know. But like, to put ourselves in this place of these people, that's a cool concept to just think about and to embrace in our own lives. That the Messiah is coming. And like, is that hopeful for you, or does that sound kind of scary to you? And either are fine, how it manifests. But take that to the Lord and find out where that is supposed to navigate for you. Okay, thanks for being here today. Appreciate it. Good to see you, Sauce, by the way. Yeah, arrogance, pride, man. Those things, they have to come down. Arrogance and pride, they're just such a they're nasty buggers. I will maybe be back with you guys tomorrow night. There's a chance I don't do my stream tomorrow night. Hello, Asibla, good to see you. Hi, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. What's your streak up to? Do you still have the streak, or did it get busted? And we'll be back with the 140 streak. Let's go. She still has it rolling. I will see you guys on either Wednesday night or Friday morning for the next iteration of the Bible story. It was great to be here with you in this journey. There might be some places we skip in Isaiah, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But let's just hold on to that hope, that thinking. You've been on vacay visiting family? Nice. How's Dad doing? Is he doing well? He's recovered okay? Good. Awesome. All right. Yeah, so we'll be back soon. Thank you guys for being here, and enjoy your vacay, Asibla. Good to see you, Sauce. Have a great day. Have a great couple days on the felt or wherever else you're doing things. And, you know, look out for those who are less fortunate, right? That is one of the mantras that we hear here. Look out for those who are less fortunate and try to be an encouragement to them, bless them in ways that you can. If you are blessed, bless somebody else. Don't think so highly of yourself that we can't help those who are less fortunate than us. All right? All right. Love you all. See you soon.